up, a special court in Bengaluru has sentenced ex-Hassan MP Prajwal Revanna, grandson of former Prime Minister H.D. Deve Gowda, to life imprisonment. A fine of 11 lakh rupees that has also been imposed, which will go to the rape survivor as compensation. Earlier in the day, Revanna broke down in court. He wept uncontrollably and pleaded for a lesser punishment. Revanna was found guilty of raping the 47-year-old domestic help. The verdict that was delivered just 14 months after the case was registered, with the trial concluding at a remarkable pace. He was in court on Friday when the verdict was announced and appeared emotional as he was taken back into custody. Not once but twice that he broke down in court. Let me cut across to Nagarjun, joining us live on the broadcast, as you have been tracking every single detail. Nagarjun, with regards to the quantum of sentence being pronounced, what happened in court?
The judge heard both the prosecution and the defense. The prosecution pressed that this was a heinous crime and this was a crime that was done from the seat of power and money, that was pure arrogance, and ensured that the victim was also kidnapped. The family put out a fake narrative in front of the media and not pleaded guilty, and hence this would be a lesson to the remaining people in the society about how they can't get away from the law, and the judge should give him the harshest punishment, is what prosecution had said. On the defense end, the Prajwal Revanna's lawyers argued that he's a young politician. It was all because of politics around the election, and hence the videos went viral, and he has much more ahead in his life. Hence, the court should consider giving him the least punishment. The judge also asked Prajwal Revanna if he has to say anything. Revanna broke down in the court and then pleaded in front of the judge, saying that he's an educated man, he's been a merit student, and hence to give him least punishment. And around 4 o'clock, the judgment was reserved, and then it came out. And the judge announced it that there will be life imprisonment under Section 376 2 bar K and Section 376 2 bar N, and 11 lakh odd fine to be paid to the court, and that money would indeed go to the victim, and not just under these two rape sections, but Prajwal Revanna has been booked under IT Act also for recording videos of the act and then keeping it on his phone. All under all sections that the prosecution pressed on, the court agreed and then gave him the harshest punishment of life imprisonment. Now we'll have to wait and watch. What would the counsel of Prajwal Revanna do? Will they knock on the doors of the High Court immediately, or take time, get into a huddle, and then look at the legal remedies?
Oh yes, absolutely, and we'll all discuss it one by one. But the fact that Prajwal Revanna broke down not once but twice, and correct me if I'm wrong there, also proves that he understands that no one is above the law, no matter how powerful you are, and that is the message that goes out from a judgment like this.
Well, absolutely, and the amount of days that the trial took, starting from the arrest till the conviction, it's just been 14 months. We have seen in India, in many courts, in many states, about how the judgment gets prolonged, the trial gets prolonged for decades together. But in this case, everything from starting from arrest to the conviction was done in 14 months. The credit also goes to the SIT or the Karnataka police, which investigated. They ensured that the witnesses were kept intact, protected. The victim was rescued by the farmhouse when she was kidnapped, and all the evidences were collaborated and collected. DNA samples were matched, digital recording and evidence were matched, and all this case became watertight because of the investigation done by the SIT. And subsequently, the lawyers from the government and also put in a good show in front of the court, argued with valid points, and ensured that they could convince the court this was a watertight case and hence conviction is needed. Till yesterday it was conviction, but this morning the prosecution argued for half an hour in terms of why the harshest punishment should be given to Prajwal Revanna, as this sends a message to people in the society that no one is above the law. And today the court seemed to have agreed and then given him a life imprisonment.
Oh yes, Nagarjun, certainly commendable for the investigating team to conduct a pacey probe, and also for the courts to deliver justice at this rate. But what about Prajwal Revanna's counsel now planning the next steps?
Like I mentioned, Suresha, they would be knocking on the doors of the High Court very soon. The judgment copy would be given to them most likely by the end of the day or by tomorrow. They would sit and look at what exactly the judgment is written. It's over 100 pages, is what we are told. Word by word, line by line, they'll have to go through and then pick what are the argument points that they have to present in front of the High Court, and look at which bench the High Court roster is, and which in front of which bench this petition will go if they move the High Court. And who should represent them, any senior counsel that they have to hire for Prajwal Revanna. All this would be discussed in other maybe 4 5 days. They'll have a clear picture, and likely they'll approach the High Court very soon.
And Nagarjun, let's also understand that this is not it. This is one of the 4 cases against Prajwal Revanna. What is the status on the other 3?
The trial is going on in the remaining 3. This was the crucial case, is what the SIT and the government believes, because the victim had recorded a statement in the under 164 section, and this was a watertight case because the evidences were so clinching that Prajwal Revanna could not escape, and the remaining 3 cases are still in trial zones, under trial process. Statements are being recorded, witnesses are being crossed, so that would still take time. This is just one out of the 4 cases that Prajwal has been convicted.
Continue talking to us, Prajwal, of the critical moments in court, and especially when Prajwal Revanna knew that the future does not look good for him, because he broke down several times and he pleaded for lesser punishment.
Well, it was yesterday when he was convicted. That was the first time that Prajwal broke down. I think he realized the consequences of what the judgment was. He cannot apply for any bail because he's been convicted. Now he'll have to approach higher court for quashing of the judgment. And today also, when the judge asked him to speak, he broke down. He folded his hands in front of the judge and pleaded, saying that give me lesser punishment. I'm a merit student. I'm an engineer in mechanical background. I have always scored well in my exams. This was because of politics that happened. Whatever happened was because of politics. During my election, these videos went viral. The defense lawyers also said that the young politician has much more ahead of him, and hence the court has to consider and give him some sympathy that he might come back soon and lead a good life or a better life. Clearly, it didn't work. The court seemed to be impressed with the prosecution's argument that harshest punishment would be sending out a good message to the society and not just to the accused.
All right, Nagarjun, many thanks for getting us all those details.